So today's podcast is going to be short. I just have a couple of things to say and then kind of an announcement at the end. But as usual, the very first thing I want to say is if you're having suicidal thoughts or suicidal ideations, that you please call or text 988. Don't hesitate. Don't wait. Don't put it off. Please call and get the help that you need, the resources that you need, any information that you need, a listening ear, just whatever it is that you need that may help you not make this final decision. Please call. So I just want to say the reason I didn't call, the reason I didn't have a podcast last week is that I was sick. I couldn't hardly talk without coughing. So I didn't even attempt to do a podcast last week. And I only have a couple of things this week. One is I actually got to have a dream about Adam Saturday night. It was very brief, but I got to see him full on, his face and everything. And I said, "Hey, bud," and he said, "Hey, mom," the way that we usually communicate with each other, and it was very sweet. He looked good. He looked healthy. Um, and even that short little brief interaction with him was very nice and very comforting. And like I said, it was very sweet. And the second thing I was going to say is that when the 8th of March rolled around, I didn't even think about it being the 8th, which I know you're probably thinking, what's that got to do with anything? But, Adam passed away on January the 8th. So every single month since he's passed away for over a year, every month, um, when the 8th rolls around, my thought is, oh my goodness, it's the 8th, it's the 8th. It kept hitting me. For some reason, I didn't even think about it until about the middle of March. And then I was like, oh my goodness, I didn't even think about the 8th. Well, of course, then I felt kind of guilty because I didn't even think about him. And then I felt kind of happy that maybe this is a good sign that I'm healing somewhat. Once I got through feeling guilty because I didn't think about it, but I also was a little concerned that, oh, does this mean I'm forgetting about him? But of course, I know that's not true because I think about him every single day. I don't forget about him, and I know that we won't forget about him, and we never will forget about him. But anyway, that was just something new. So again, the podcast was the intention of trying to help others who are going through this process. And since this is something new that happened, I just thought I would like to share that. So if anyone, feels that way, don't feel guilty, don't think it's wrong or anything like that. Just, accept it and move on and just, or move forward and, just take it. So anyway, that's really all I have to share, except that through much prayer and consideration and thinking, we have decided that we are going to end the podcasts, except we have one more that we're going to share, and that is the young lady at our church that shared her story slash podcast. Um, she is going to send me hers, and I'm going to podcast it on here because I think what she has to say is so vitally important and relevant to anyone who may be considering taking their own life. Um, she's working on it and she's trying to get it to say the things that she wants it to say and be exactly the way she wants it to say. So I don't know when that will come, but when she is ready and she sends it, that will be our final podcast, and we will be done. Um, so what I'll do is when that comes up, I'll show one last podcast and I'll explain it, and I'll again say that we are ending the podcast after this final one. The mailbox is still open, and I will periodically be checking that in case anyone wants to send any kind of email or anything like that. So we can be reached. We're on YouTube, obviously. We're on Spotify. Hindsight Hurts Suicide Picking Up the Pieces. We have Facebook and Instagram, Hindsight Hurts. And we also have the mailbox, hindsighthurts@mail.com. So I just want to thank everyone who's been listening. And I pray that this has been helpful to someone, useful. And of course, I want to give God the glory and the praise for anyone who may have used this or it has helped them in any way. Because that's again our goal was to give honor to God in praise and glory. So I guess that's it. Again, please, please, please call or text 988 if you have suicidal thoughts or suicidal ideations. Please don't continue to suffer in silence. And thank you again until the next podcast.